Do you know how our solar system looks like? What's inside it, and how it works? There are so many questions that comes in our mind about space and the universe, and we want to know about them. So, today, I'm going to take you on a journey towards the solar system, the group of celestial bodies that orbit our star, the Sun. You will learn some amazing facts about the Sun, the planets, the moons, and other objects that make up our cosmic neighborhood. So, let's get started. The solar system is located in the Milky Way galaxy, in one of its outer spiral arms. It is about 26,000 light-years away from the center of the galaxy, and it takes about 230 million years to complete one orbit around it. The solar system is estimated to be about 4.5 billion years old, and it formed from a massive cloud of gas and dust that collapsed and started to rotate. As the cloud spun faster, it flattened into a disk, with a bulge in the center. This bulge became the Sun, and the rest of the disk became the planets and other bodies. The Sun is the largest and most massive object in the solar system, accounting for about 99.8% of its total mass. It is a yellow dwarf star, which means it is a medium-sized star that emits yellow light. The Sun has a diameter of about 1.4 million kilometers, which is about 109 times the diameter of Earth. The Sun has a surface temperature of about 5,500 degrees Celsius, and a core temperature of about 15 million degrees Celsius. The Sun produces energy by nuclear fusion, which is the process of combining lighter elements into heavier ones, releasing huge amounts of heat and light. The Sun is the source of life for Earth and other planets, as it provides them with warmth, light, and gravity. So the next objects in our solar system are planets. The planets are the major bodies that orbit the Sun. There are 8 planets in the solar system, divided into 2 groups, the inner planets and the outer planets. The inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are also called terrestrial planets, because they are made of solid and rocky materials. They are relatively small and dense, and they have few or no moons. The outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They are also called gas giants or ice giants, because they are made of mostly gas or ice. They are much larger and less dense than the inner planets, and they have many moons and rings. Let's talk about first on Mercury from inner planets. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, and the smallest planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 4,880 kilometers, which is about 38% the diameter of Earth. Mercury has no atmosphere, and its surface is covered with craters, mountains, and valleys. Mercury has a very eccentric orbit, which means it is not a perfect circle, but rather an oval shape. This causes Mercury to have extreme variations in temperature, ranging from -180 degrees Celsius at night to 430 degrees Celsius during the day. Mercury has no moons, and it takes about 88 days to orbit the Sun, and about 59 days to rotate on its axis. The next is Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, and the hottest planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 12,100 kilometers, which is about 95% the diameter of Earth. Venus has a thick atmosphere, composed mainly of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. The atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect, which traps the heat from the Sun and makes the surface temperature of Venus about 460 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Venus has no moons, and it takes about 225 days to orbit the Sun, and about 243 days to rotate on its axis. Venus rotates in the opposite direction of most other planets, which means that the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east on Venus. Now talk about the third one, the planet Earth. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and the only planet in the solar system that supports life. It has a moderate atmosphere, composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen. The atmosphere protects us from harmful radiation and meteoroids, and regulates the climate. Earth has one moon, which affects the tides and stabilizes the tilt of Earth's axis. Earth takes about 365 days to orbit the Sun, and about 24 hours to rotate on its axis. The Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, and the second smallest planet in the solar system. It has a thin atmosphere, composed mainly of carbon dioxide. The atmosphere allows some water vapor and dust storms to form, but not enough to support life. Mars has a reddish color due to iron oxide in its soil. Mars has two small moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are thought to be captured asteroids. Mars takes about 687 days to orbit the Sun, and about 25 hours to rotate on its axis. Now let's talk about the outer planets. The first one is Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun, and the largest and most massive planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 143,000 kilometers, which is about 11 times the diameter of Earth. Jupiter has a thick atmosphere, composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. It has no solid surface, but it may have a rocky core. Jupiter has at least 79 moons, including 4 large ones called Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. It also has a powerful magnetic field and a complex system of rings. Jupiter is known for its Great Red Spot, a giant storm that has been raging for centuries. The Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun, and the second largest and most massive planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 120,000 kilometers, which is about 9 times the diameter of Earth. Saturn has a similar atmosphere to Jupiter, but with more methane and ammonia. It also has no solid surface, but it may have a rocky core. Saturn has at least 82 moons, including one large one called Titan, which has its own atmosphere and liquid lakes. It also has the most spectacular rings in the solar system, made of ice and dust particles. Now talk about the third one is Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, and the third largest and fourth most massive planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 51,000 kilometers, which is about 4 times the diameter of Earth. Uranus has a thin atmosphere, composed mainly of hydrogen and helium, with some methane that gives it a blue-green color. It has a solid surface made of ice and rock. Uranus has at least 27 moons, including 5 large ones called Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. It also has a faint system of rings. Uranus is unique in that it rotates on its side, with an axial tilt of 98 degrees. The Neptune, also known for its great dark spot. Neptune is the 8th and most distant planet from the Sun, and the 4th largest and 3rd most massive planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of about 49,000 kilometers, which is about 3.8 times the diameter of Earth. Neptune has a similar atmosphere to Uranus, but with more methane and less helium. It also has a solid surface made of ice and rock. Neptune has at least 14 moons, including one large one called Triton, which has geysers and a thin atmosphere. It also has a faint system of rings. Neptune is known for its great dark spot, a giant storm that disappeared in 1994. Now maybe you are thinking why it disappeared. So, scientists are not sure why the great dark spot disappeared, or how it formed in the first place. One possible explanation is that the storm was affected by seasonal changes on Neptune, which has a very long year of about 165 Earth years. As Neptune orbits the Sun, different parts of its atmosphere receive different amounts of sunlight and heat, which could alter the atmospheric circulation and dynamics. Another possible explanation is that the storm was disrupted by interactions with other features on Neptune, such as jet streams or smaller vortices. The disappearance of the Great Dark Spot shows that Neptune's atmosphere is very active and complex, and that it changes over time. Scientists hope to learn more about the formation and evolution of Neptune's dark spots by observing them with more advanced instruments and models in the future. So here are some other objects in our solar system. Asteroids. Asteroids are rocky and metallic fragments that orbit the Sun, mostly in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Some asteroids have their own moons, such as 243, Ida and Dactyl. Comets. These are icy and dusty bodies that orbit the Sun in highly elliptical paths. As they approach the Sun, they develop tails of gas and dust that point away from the Sun, such as Comet Hale-Bopp. Dwarf planets. These are spherical objects that orbit the Sun, but are not large enough to clear their neighborhood of other objects. There are 5 officially recognized dwarf planets in the Solar System: Ceres, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. Moons. Moons are basically natural satellites that orbit planets or dwarf planets. There are over 200 known moons in the Solar System, ranging in size from tiny dust particles to larger than Mercury. Some of the most famous moons are Earth's moon, Jupiter's Europa, Saturn's Titan, and Neptune's Triton. Trans-Neptunian objects, or TNOs, which are objects that orbit the Sun beyond the orbit of Neptune. They include the Kuiper Belt objects, KBOs, the scattered disk objects, SDOs, and the detached objects. Some of the largest and most distant TNOs are Sedna, Quorum, and V774104. So, these are all about our solar system. If you found this video valuable, then make sure to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of my new videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.